What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do a tap into your soul reading for the sign of Aries. Okay, Aries, you guys were first this week on the zodiac lineup. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal. So take what resonates and pass the rest to the next. Okay, so Aries, just so you guys know, just a little sidebar before we get into your reading, okay? This is the last tap into your soul reading for not just you, but overall, okay? The energy is done in regards to these readings. It's been a pleasure for me doing these readings for as long as I have, but it's time to move on from them, okay? So at any given point in time, if you feel the need or you haven't seen all of your tap into your soul readings for your sign, or maybe you want to check in on one of your placements, by all means, you can still find these readings on my channel in my playlist, Tap Into Your Souls, okay, at any given time, okay, for your leisure. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. You guys should know how this goes. We're going to put out 3 cards with 3 questions attached. This is top card for your past, bottom is for your present, in the middle is for your future placement, okay? We'll look at the bottom of the deck for your overall outcome. At this point in time, you can think about what you would like your overall outcome to be, okay? And answer these 3 questions honestly, okay, Aries? So, let's start with your past placement. What held you back in the past, okay? What held you back in the past? I'd like for you to look at this card, Aries, and, think about how it makes you feel, or you can write it out. I hope that everyone who has had the chance to watch these readings uses it as a like a therapy session to journal their feelings during each month that I have released these, okay? So take the time to just kind of look at this and think of that question. What held you back in the past? Okay, what held you back in the past? Aries, I'm going to be completely honest with you. These readings, being the last readings, are going to be pretty raw, okay? So for not only just you, but the rest of the collective for the Zodiac lineup last week, okay? I didn't get these done Saturday like I normally do because the energy was just off and I wasn't feeling too well emotionally, and so I went on ahead and I took a break yesterday from doing these, okay? And rightfully so. You have to really be honest with yourself, like I said, Aries. This image right here, you've possibly hit on this energy before in one of your past Tap Into Your Souls a couple of months ago. If you are a parent, okay? If you're not a parent, then this is not for you. Get in where you fit in, okay? But you may have had some regrets about your past, Aries, about becoming a parent. Maybe you became a parent too early, okay? You possibly regret or feel like having a child held you back from getting certain things that you wanted in your life, okay? And so that is hard, a hard pill to swallow, a hard pill of truth to swallow, okay, for anyone. As far as it's not, I don't feel like it's deep regret in parenthood, but it's some regret, and it's like I sometimes say in my readings, coulda, shoulda, woulda, okay? where we review things in our past or something that we've done, and we, look back at it and say, you know what, if I could have, I would have made a better choice, okay? Or maybe you wanted to have your child with someone else and not who you ended up with, ended up having a child with, okay? That could be for some of you as well, okay? But I think parenthood for some of you, Aries, is one of those things where you feel like, I could have done so much more sooner if I would have decided not to do X, Y, and Z. Okay? For some of you, it may not be directed at your child per se, it could be regrets of not doing certain things in your life. Okay? Because I know people who have children that still were able to accomplish their goals. Okay? And it all just depends on what your goal is. But a lot of times, maybe you feel like you neglected your inner child and what your true dreams were. We've all been there. When we were little, oh, I want to be an astronaut. Oh, I want to be a ballerina. What are you now? A department store manager, a banking consultant, or business consultant, or bank teller, or office work. You feel like you let your inner child down, okay? We strive for so much as kids based off of who we idolized back then. Seeing the first black woman astronaut made me want to be the first black woman astronaut. I mean, or well, not first black woman astronaut, but just a black woman astronaut, period, okay? Um, I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to be a lawyer. I am none of those things. However, I still kind of achieve those things by learning about legal issues in my own, daily life. I love cooking, so I still get a chance to be my own little personal chef at times, trying new recipes and things of that nature. So I still kind of feel like in those senses I satisfy my inner child. That is something you can do as well, okay, Aries, and that's for the others of you, all right? So let's move on to your present. What continues to hold you back presently? What continues to hold you back presently, Aries? This card has came up a couple of times in different signs. Pisces, Libra, Gemini, I believe, got this as well. Those signs could be in your chart, okay? Sad to say, and again, I'm not throwing shade when I do this, okay? This is coming from a place of uplifting you and motivating you, okay, Aries? So you have a tendency of what continues to hold you back presently, of kind of portraying yourself, or you could be getting into this kind of holier than thou, better than type of vibe, okay? You could be very religious, okay? Nothing wrong with that. I don't really like talking about religion on my channel. I'm more spiritual than I am religious, although I come from a religious family. But I even have some family members that are more spiritual than they are religious, because I'm not going to sit up here and quote scripture to you, okay? But presently, you could be getting into this vibe of, the best way I can say it is humble yourself, okay? That's all I can say, is humble yourself. There's nothing wrong with being who you are and knowing where you've come from, but try your best not to get into a holier than thou type of personality, okay? In a sense of looking down on anyone. For others of you, Aries, it's about reaching a higher level of consciousness, okay? Emotional intelligence, if you will, okay? Common sense, knowing who you are, okay? If you're battling with your faith, that could be for some of you as well, where you're branching out from religion to spirituality, okay? The two and two go in hand, okay? Again, I don't really like talking about it, but it's obvious it needs to be, it needs to come out, and it could be because energetically it's in the collective, okay, for Aries, or any Aries placement. Prayer, and I've said this before, prayer and manifestation are one and the same, okay? When you pray, you are hoping, you are wishing for something to come to you, okay? For that thing to come to you, you have to move, okay? With prayer, you're hoping that God, okay, or whoever you pray to, okay, um, will bring it or send it to you, okay? You're asking and you're waiting to receive. That is what prayer is, in my opinion, okay? Manifestation is the same as prayer because you're putting that energy into the universe. You're putting it in the air. You're putting it in the ethers. Same premise. You're wanting for something, you're wishing for something to come to fruition. However, in order for it to come to fruition, you have to do and put in the work for it, okay? Kevin Hart says it best. Everybody want to be famous, but don't nobody want to put the work in, okay? Kevin Hart says it best, all right? And that's very true. Everybody wants something, but nobody wants to put the work in, okay? When you find out how much work it's going to take for you to do something, then you don't want it. You want it to come to you, okay? That's prayer. But manifesting is saying you want something, knowing what it takes to get that particular thing, and actually working towards it so it then can meet you halfway, okay? That's how that works, all right? If you want a car, or let's say you need a new car just ain't gonna drop up in your lap and say, hey, you said you needed a new car, here you go. That's not how that works, okay? Now, for some, it might, okay? There's people that give people cars all the time, okay? Family members do it for their kids. They go get their kids a car, but kids don't realize what it takes to get that car, do they? You got to have good credit. If you have the money to pay for the car straight up, no payments, congratulations to you. That's amazing, okay? Those are the only times when I believe that happens, where a new car just drops off in front of you. It's because it's gifted to you, okay? But in reality, I am a realist, okay? If you yourself know you need a new car, you know what that's going to take. It's going to take for you to save up your money, have a down payment for the car. You're going to have to get your credit evaluated if you get a loan for the car. Having the money for the payments every month, trying to see how much you can afford a month. And then you got to go do the research on the car, all of that, okay? You got to know the right times of the year to go and get a car. Usually, from what I hear, you can, wait till the end of the year, and usually there's a bigger sale towards the end of the year when it comes to cars because they're trying to make room for new inventory to come in for the following year. So the best time to get a car is usually towards the end of the year, not in between, especially not summer months because they hike up the prices. Okay, so nonetheless, that's just an example, and that might be for someone in particular. Okay, and so again, you need it, there are steps to get it. The question is, are you willing to put in the work to receive it? Okay, so that is how manifestation and prayer are different, but also similar. Okay, so that being said, totally off of this, but again, okay, like I said, for some of you, you're battling between religion and spirituality. They're both one and the same. Okay, when you talk about church, God is with you at all times. You have God within you at all times. You battle between good and evil all the time. Thus the saying of you have free will, okay, to do what you choose to do, okay? You know what the right thing is to do, but you, at the end of the day, have to make the choice because it's you who have to deal with the consequences and repercussions of your actions, okay? So, church happens within you. You can talk to God at any given point in time. Why must you go into a building to talk to God? I'm not judging churches. By all means, it's a place to commune and worship God. I went to church plenty of times, okay, as a child. As a child, I went to church. As an adult, I have went to church, okay? But I talk to God every day, okay? I talk to my Holy Spirit, my universe. I talk to the universe. I talk to God. He goes by many names. He or she, Mother Gaia, still, same thing, okay? So, with that being said, again, I don't like to get into religion, and I'm trying not to make y'all's reading long, but some of you maybe going have that going on with you right now, just battling with your faith right now, okay? And it could just be based on what's going on around you, okay? Friends, family. Again, this pandemic has shined a light on a lot of things, okay? Connections, who matters most, things of that nature, okay? And so that may be the reason why your faith is possibly being tested right now, is you have to make a choice right now, all right? If you stick with the same teachings just so that way you can conform to what you were raised with, or be your own person, okay? For some of you, you may have been missing church the last couple of weeks and you feel like you're being judged for it. If you had something to do, then by all means do what you need to do. God is not going to shun you or smite you because you missed church, okay? That's not how religion works, and I do not believe God would do something like that, okay? That's just me personally. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the future placement, because again, I could talk about this all day long, but we're not going to do that, okay? I didn't even want these to be long, okay? So let's move on to your future placement. How will you change your future? How will you change your future? Okay. Like I was just saying before, take the time, Aries, to kind of look at this picture and see how it makes you feel, okay? You have this rainbow over this person here who is cowering, okay? And then at the bottom here with their hand on the floor, okay? There's this, screaming energy out here on the side, okay? Like I said, be yourself, okay? You are shunning, don't get into this because you're about to do this, okay? You're about to conform to what you think others want you to be instead of being yourself, okay? During the day, you're whoever everybody else wants you to be or knows you for. And on the inside, you're screaming out to be someone else, okay? Your true self, okay? And so you are sheltering or hiding who your true self is, okay? That is what's possibly this future energy unless you change it, okay? Um, do not conform to what you think others feel you should be, or how you should act, or what you should do with your life, okay? They do not live your life, okay? When you go your way and they go theirs, they live their life, you live yours, okay? You can make suggestions all day long to somebody, doesn't mean that they're going to do what you suggest, okay? They're going to do what they feel is best, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Because they have to live with it. Any choice that you make, you have to live with. Nobody else does. And it could be a choice that is for your best good and for your highest good. And if that choice involves moving away from them because they seem to be very judgmental of you, then that's what you have to do, okay? It's for your sanity, okay? So that being said, let's look and see what your overall outcome is, Aries, for your energy. This is, oh my gosh. I've never seen this card show up at the bottom of the deck. This one is very popular as well. It's came up in Scorpio, Pisces. Um, so you may have those in your chart. I think there was another sign that it came up for, and I can't remember who. But there is someone blocking you. Okay, overall outcome. All right, I don't know whether or not. I don't know whether or not if this matches with what you want your overall outcome to be. Base it off of your current situation right now. Okay. But you see this womanly figure in the water here with a man in the boat, okay, and his crown chakra is ablaze, and the arm is kind of like in the way from this boat moving forward, okay. So I feel as though it may not be so much an overall outcome for you, Aries. It's possibly how you currently feel, okay. Someone, like I said, is judging you. You have this right up underneath your present, okay? So someone is obviously passing judgment on you, and it's causing you to um, kind of battle within yourself, some type of internal conflict mentally, okay? And it's possibly causing you some form of mental anguish, okay? I'm forewarning you now, Aries, the more you let this person kind of pick and pry at you, okay, they're keeping you in this kind of like childish, they're treating you like a child, and you're probably a grown adult, okay, and you're dealing with this, okay. Um, it also could deal with a past energy of maybe being too close or kind of molded in the way of your parent for some of you, Aries, okay. And so you may feel some form of guilt um, because you're getting this, how can I say it, this form of anxiety, if you will, okay, to please your parent for some of you, okay, um, and it's blocking your forward movement, okay. The more this anxiety keeps coming down on you, the more it's a possibility of you snapping, okay. And I've been there, all right, where I've like, enough is enough. For me personally, in order for me to be able to grow, I have to say what I have to let my feelings show. And so whatever I'm feeling on the inside, because that form of anxiety, you know, you keep holding things in, Aries, it turns into anxiety, it turns into depression, it turns into having a hard trouble sleeping at night, you're suffering from insomnia, whatever the case may be, okay. You could be reliving traumatic times from when you were a child, things that you didn't even think were bothering you as much, such as your parent asking you to pass them the remote and they're sitting right there next to it. Stuff like that used to get on my nerves, okay? And you've had comedians talk about stuff like that all the time, where it's like, but you right there. It's like, it doesn't matter. You are to listen to them and do what they tell you to do, and so they kind of continue to possibly put that over you like an obligation, if you will, okay. Everyone, in my opinion, is responsible for taking care of themselves, okay. I don't think a child should be used as a servant, okay. A child is another extension of you, because you decided to create another person with someone that you love, and you want to see what your genetics would create and give them something in return, as far as creating a family line of a legacy, if you will, okay. And so a child should not be a check, a child should not be a servant, a child should be an extension of your love with someone else. That is just my opinion, okay. So with that being said, Aries, I could get into it all day long with you guys, but this is what I feel is going on with the overall outcome, okay. You're having some blockage, possibly in your crown chakra, in regards to your upbringing as a whole, okay. And so you have to identify what your soul is, what is in your soul, what's going to give you peace, okay? And this person is obviously blocking your peace, okay? And so you have to start getting things off of you, okay? So either by talking to this person, or compartmentalizing it out of your system, writing it down, seeking therapy. Whenever I do these, I automatically suggest therapy. Therapy does not have to be expensive, you guys. If you have health insurance, you can definitely use your insurance card, or see or go to a therapist that takes insurance. I used therapy for 2 years, and my sessions were $25 for like 35 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. Very, very affordable. Okay. If I saw my therapist 3 times a month, that means that was $75 a month for mental health. Okay. You cannot put a price on that. That is priceless. Okay. Your sanity, your peace of mind is priceless. Okay. So please take that into account. All right. You do not have to pay a $200 to $500 bill to talk to someone. Okay. You can literally do it for just dollars on the day. Okay. So with that being said, that's all that I have for you guys. I truly have enjoyed doing these, as I hope they have tapped into your soul during the time that we've been doing these readings. A new one will be taking its place in September when I come back on the 6th. So until then, Aries, peace.